about those?
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar podcast, presented by Chiefs Blitz and sponsored by Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. If you're looking for a real estate expert, call Eric Haynes today at 816-729-3785. That's 816-729-3785. Now, here is your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Tillman, and Hense Todd.
Welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com. Check us out on all our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at Chiefs Blitz. Joined by my good friend, Mr. Hense Todd, producer extraordinaire. You can check out his show at Bowtie Sports on YouTube every Saturday, 1 o'clock with Coach Dre. Coach Dre will not be with us today. And again, I'm your host, Nick Athan. And before we get started on a variety of interesting topics we have planned for the day and whatever direction we end up going, I want to talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. He is our title sponsor, and we appreciate Eric for all he has done for Chiefs Blitz, and I appreciate everything he's done for myself and my wife, Emily, getting our house. It was a long process, and without him, I don't think it would have gotten done. So if you're looking for a real estate professional, I know we all have friends and family. Everybody seems to know a realtor. But you want someone who's going to always call you back, someone who's going to answer every text, who's going to negotiate on your behalf and have your best interest at the heart of the issue, which is to find a house, which is not difficult. If you're selling a house, you want someone who's going to make sure that they understand the market and can get you top dollar. And that man is Mr. Eric Haynes. So give Eric a call at 816-729-3785. Email him at esaleskc@gmail.com or Twitter at Eric Haynes.
Proud sponsor of Chief Who?
Chief Who. Yes, Chief Who. And with that, we bring in Mr. Lou Montagna, the senior member of this Chiefs Blitz. Four guys in a bar today, three guys in a bar. As we talk Kansas City Chiefs football, talk about a few other things going on. But gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday edition.
Yes, sir. Hump day.
Hump day.
Let's go.
Day.
Time to get over.
Hey, so we got the Chiefs Who today. Kareem is out there putting on Twitter that, hey, he's the champion. He got championships and all this nonsense of Chiefs Who.
Hey,
but I'm looking to win because
he's walking the walk so he can talk the talk. Now,
yes,
come on.
That.
I want a part of that collection that Knicks have. I want a part of it. So I'm going to try my best to win today.
All right.
Try my best to take care of business today. Hey, we got we have the Chiefs running back room that's going to be very slightly packed, but maybe some guys that's probably picked up off other teams. So what y'all think about the running back room so far?
Well, I think I think it's definitely different than it was last year. No Jared McKinnon. You've got a plethora of a couple of undrafted free agent rookies who are going to have a chance. They brought Clyde Edwards-Helaire back. You got Isaiah Pacheco. I just think they need a solid three-person rotation. And at this point, I have no idea who that's going to be. Bailey is an interesting prospect. Carson Steele, who I love a lot. Louis Rees-Zamet, another guy. Deneric Prince, I think he had his chance last time. But to me, I think Bailey is the guy that probably has the best chance to be the number 2 running back. I would make Carson Steele number 3. This is just me. Kind of for a bruiser guy, can play fullback if needed. He's a good straight ahead runner, and he can get you that half yard or that yard. We don't have to see Noah Gray under center anymore. Yes, I'm throwing out shade to Noah.
50 shades.
50
please.
shades, please. Sorry. But again, this is an interesting room, and I'm still, I know I'm in the minority with Pacheco. I just think he needs to have his head up more and be able to stop and start and take advantage of some of the holes by cutting back. And he does that sometimes, but I don't think he does it enough. I think he's leaving a lot of yards on the table. And this is all going to, he's only a second-year guy. This is his third year. So I'm looking for that progression for me. But in the interim, I think they're going to probably rely on potentially a couple of rookies in Bailey and Steele.
Yeah, this may be one of the most fascinating groups, outside of wide receiver. But, the top of the wide receiver group seems to be in place. It's kind of the bottom half. Whereas here, outside of Pops, you really don't have anything that you can say solidly, this is it. You'd like to say Clyde is entrenched as the number 2, but again, that remains to be seen. Keontae Ingram is a guy that we featured on Chief Who, and it's a guy that Veach has just mentioned a couple of different times in his appearances that, hey, don't forget about this guy. He's a guy that actually has produced in the NFL, whereas all these other guys haven't had the opportunity yet with a couple of rookies. Hassan Hall is another intriguing prospect, kid out of Georgia Tech, a lot of potential. So don't be surprised if he steps up. But again, he has been in NFL camps before. So the rookies, we'll see. Deneric Prince was the talk of camp for a while last year. Never really hit his stride. Got some opportunities, like Nick said. But again, second year, maybe, the familiarity in the offense going through the entire season, mostly watching, may have helped him. And of course, you got, the Englishman, Reese Zammit, that everybody seems to think is going to be our secret weapon. So we'll see once they hit the field. But again, I don't think you can really say this guy is over this guy, that guy's over that guy. It's pretty much, again, behind number 10, everything's wide open. So that should be interesting to watch how that plays out along with the receiver group.
Now, me looking at this running back.
Whoa, sorry. I got to apologize to Mango. Welsh, not English.
Yes,
sorry,
Welsh. Yes.
Mango. That is a distinction. All right. Sorry, Hense. Go ahead.
But looking at this, hold on. I think we got a new guy from Facebook. Who what's his name there?
Freelancer Nazmul. I'm not really sure which way to pronounce it, so I apologize. Welcome
to the bar, Freelancer.
Yes. But again, me looking at this running back room, hey, I'm giving all props to Prince, man. I want praise to Prince, where you want to call him. I want to see what he can do, man. He reminds me, he's got the build of Now Davis. Now Davis with his, the Kansas City.
He didn't do too well in Kansas City.
He didn't do well to Kansas City, but again, he was good in college. I was surprised that he went undrafted last year. So to see, I want to see what he does this year. This is opportunity for all these guys, because McKinnon, it seems like he's retired. Then you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire on 1-year deal. Even though Clyde Edwards played good at the back end of the season last year, but if I had to choose any one of the guys, then like Lou said, the kid number that's gonna be wearing the Juju number, number 9. He looked like he's a fan favorite right now. See, the fans love the unknown, right? We love the unknown.
They can dream. They can kind of they project greatness on the guy. He's never taken a snap.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. We don't know. We want to see. We said, oh, it's a new shiny toy, and the ladies love him. The ladies said he's a hot young man. They said he got a beautiful eye, he got the nice hair. Hey, it's going to be a lot of number 9s going to be worn in the stadium. I can say that. Yeah. But again, if that does happen, like if he does emerge to be that competition with Isaiah Pacheco, you never know. Yeah. You never know. It could be a hidden gem.
I like the fact playing rugby. He's, the vision part of it is going to be maybe he's ahead of even Pops, because you mentioned it before. We've always said that the patience, he just wants to get going so fast, so hard that sometimes he will miss holes, or he gets there way too quick. But again, he's growing at that. But yeah, I would say the rugby part for Zamet, that's going to be a big part about just how instinctively being able to see guys everywhere, because obviously there's no line of scrimmage, so they're playing. It's kind of a fluid game.
Yeah, what I like about it, I mean, I think from a vision perspective, as you mentioned, Lou, but also from a hands perspective, I don't think he's going to have any problem adjusting there. I think the issue is going to be, from what little video I've seen of him, and I'm not a lot, he seems like he's running more straight up a little bit, and he's going to have to understand how to bend his body and bring it down a little bit.
Once the pads come on the defense,
listen, he's got speed, he's got the hands, he's got the vision. He already has the ability to cut back and do all those kinds of things. It's just, can he adapt his body, from a perspective of being a football player versus a rugby player? I think he can. The Chiefs are very high on him, and this is not something I say lightly. This is something I've been told by multiple people, that they have a lot of confidence in his abilities, and he's a guy right now. He's the international signee, so he doesn't technically count on the roster. But, if they're struggling at running back in the preseason and none of these other guys step up and he plays well, he has a legitimate chance to make this football team and be the number 3 guy, or be the fullback / running back for this football team. And listen, I think he'd be great. Put him out there at fullback behind Pacheco and let him blow all the holes open for him. Take some short snaps, put him in motion and see what he can do out in the flat. Put him on kick returns. I mean, there's a lot of good things that he can do. But I'm going back to Bailey. I think Bailey, I find it interesting they got Bailey and Wiley both from TCU, both the top performers at their respective positions and the top performers for their offense last year for the Horned Frogs. I just like Bailey's game. I think he could ultimately become a starter, if Pacheco starts to slide. And Andy Reid's always going to play the best players and the hottest players. And if Bailey gets hot on the field, he's going to get some reps. And that might be good for Pacheco, because he didn't really have – Jerick McKinnon was kind of more of a gadget guy. He could kind of do a lot of things really good. But I think Bailey has a chance to be very, very, very good.
I have I still think Prince number 34. Everybody, even though, what Kareem, what they say in the chat about it, before we move on to the next subject.
Let's see. Kareem, Pacheco has vision issues, but he runs like his butt's on fire. Ruben DeCruz, Edwards-Helaire is not the 2 back. We need a 1-2 punch. Davis came in as a big-ass burner, though. Ruben feels that we have our Cristiano Ronaldo on the roster.
I agree with him.
Even heard from the coach. He'll be fine. We'll see. And then Ruben, again, he has the tools. It's the mental part for me. So, again, you got some serious talent here. And it's just a matter of how Andy Reid's going to incorporate that talent into the structure of the current offense and into the structure of, can I count on these guys? They're young, but he's no longer afraid to play young players. That's clear in the last 3 years. That's completely changed. So again, I'm with you, Lou. This is going to be, to me, I think it's the most intriguing position room on the team.
Yeah. The other part, as far as Coach Reid goes, in terms of the structure of the team, he doesn't have a choice but to go ahead and play young players, because that's what the bulk of this roster is going to be moving forward. Forever. As long as Patrick's, taking up what he takes up on the salary cap and maybe paying some other offensive and defensive weapons. The young guys have to come in and play, especially at the receiver position, at the running back position, because as much as we love Pops, he's here for 4 years tops. Unless he just takes a rock bottom deal and continues to play here. So it's you gotta come in, you gotta adapt quickly, you have to understand what you're doing, and you got to produce. If not, you're not going to be around long.
Yeah. I think you got to, and his contract up next year.
No, he's got he was a seventh-round pick. He's got 4 years.
So this year and next year.
Yeah, and they can transition him, I think, as well.
They would.
So
That's not going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
I was talking about Isaiah Pacheco. When Isaiah Pacheco?
Yeah, right.
He has 2 more
is
years
his
left.
Third year, and then next year will be the end of his contract. And I mean, unless he just shows like superstar ability, and they decide they're not going to pay big money for a receiver, I just don't see it in this offense. Them paying a ton at running back for maybe a slightly above average player.
Now, everybody in the chat, if you will pay Isaiah Pacheco that contract, extend the guy, put in the chat, pay that man with money signs. Go ahead and put that in the chat. But speaking of
there's the reality. Kareem says sounds like a first round running back next year.
Never.
That ain't happening.
Pops was a seventh round pick.
Gonna happen again. But again, what y'all think about what Tom Brady said about the Chiefs three-peating in 3 in a row before we get into the three-peat? Go ahead. What you say? What think about it, Nick?
Well, I think he made a great quote. To win 3 in a row, there's a reason no one's done it. Believe me, everybody would probably put them as one of the odds-on favorites to do it. To win it all again is a momentous task, and nobody is going to put it past them. So he was actually – it's interesting how much of that blurb that went out, where most of this part of it, was kind of removed from some of the posts. Leave it to Mango to put the right stuff up. And I think Tom also knows that the Chiefs are a good place for him to go to talk football. It takes the narrative a little bit away from Tom and his recent Netflix implosion disaster or fun roast.
It was a rousing success, Nick.
It made a lot of money, and that's all that really matters. But I think he said the truth. It's really hard for me. It's like this. I wrote a column about it yesterday at ChiefsBlitz.com. If you win the first one, that's already hard. But you win the second one, which the odds are definitely stacked against you, and you do it with arguably the worst team that Patrick Mahomes offensively has had in his career, you're going to have to go back to Texas Tech. The worst offense that he's had, yet he made the plays, and now you can't talk about 3 unless you win 2. And the second one, to me, was much harder than the first, with the avenue that they had to go through to defeat Miami, Buffalo, Baltimore, and San Francisco. And there's not another team in the NFL in the AFC that's going to do that. There's no one built to do that. And the Chiefs did it. And I think what's important to realize of what Tom said is, hey, he's starting his broadcasting career, go after the Chiefs, make some noise. But I think he's going to be a great analyst, and I have no problem with anything that he said. And I have no problem if he has doubts they can do it. But, Patrick Mahomes is the great equalizer, the great doubt killer, the Grim Reaper. He can make anything happen if he can make anything happen on the football field. And I'm not betting against him. So my son was in Vegas this past week. I put a Super Bowl bet down on the Chiefs to three-peat. So I'm all in.
Right, you're getting screwed by the books, because I'm sure the odds of doing it are much greater than what they're paying. but yeah, you got to do it. That's the only
big bet.
Those are the only people.
Small.
Those are the only people taking the action. But yeah, I mean, if you want to take this, like you said, take it out of context, and somebody just wants to use this as like motivation, like Brady's talking crap on it. He really didn't. I watched it when he was on with Cowherd, and I think he was really just alluding to the fact of how difficult it is to even win one.
Yeah.
And the razor sharp margin for error, because teams are so closely, I guess, as far as talent and coaching, everything else, the difference is so razor sharp that in order to win, you have to have a little luck on your side too. Obviously, health is the biggest thing, but you can, like I said, you can take this. I mean, Jordan used to make up slights to get him rolling. Maybe the Chiefs will use this too. But again, in just listening to it firsthand, he was really just talking about the fact that the league is so competitive and so closely stacked that to win 3 in a row, obviously there's a reason that it hasn't been done before. But, and I agree with you too, Nick, that the great equalizers is they have the unicorn, is that no other team has had this guy that will just say, over my dead body, doesn't matter what the situation is, we're going to win this damn game. And he hasn't been proven wrong much. I mean,
hey, Auntie. Hey, Auntie.
What's up, Ante? We love you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we still don't see anybody else's name in there besides yours, Todd. So that's good. Good for you. Way to go, Pam. Thanks for tuning in.
But I like the title of the show said, all things comes in 3. So and the Chiefs had the best big 3 to actually pull this up.
Yeah,
they have where you said it at. They got it set at quarterback. They have it set at tight end, and what's more important than cornerback and any other position on defense is D tackle right now, or D line, and they have that with Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce. So what Tom Brady said is true. Yeah, it's hard trying to do something over and over and be great at it at all the time, and you got everybody's gunning for you, even the refs. Sometimes like
snowballs,
everything else. But the thing is, like, the Chiefs went through all that drop balls and all this nonsense last year, and they still pulled it off.
They did,
right? And they still put it off.
Absolutely.
So now they got Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown's looking like to be the guy he got a little chisel on him. He got a little swollen. He got a little bigger. Then you got do you have one guy that
again? He was just standing next to Worthy. He didn't get any bigger. He was just standing next to Rex.
Doesn't really matter.
Size doesn't really matter.
Just a quick timeout. Give me a 20 here. If we're gonna play the game, we got to start now.
Okay. But again,
we can pass it off to Friday. I'm good. If everybody else in the chat is good, we can wait till Friday.
Yeah, Lou's got to leave a little early today, so we're gonna push it to Friday so we can continue the.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, Todd. I got like 5 minutes here.
All right, go ahead.
Go. What you think about it, Lou?
No. Hey, the Holy Trinity, 3 rings, 3-ring circus. Yeah, you can say everything about threes that you want. It's just never been done before, and if they were to pull this off, historical, it's otherworldly. And now Mahomes has risen to just, he's at the top of the mountain. If he's not already at the top of the mountain, he's created a mountain that's might be insurmountable, right?
He's the best dad bod quarterback of all time.
He'll be at the apex. So it's just going to be a fascinating season, so many different ways, because again, you got questions at left tackle. We just talked about the running back room. The wide receiver room's a little bit up in the air. They lost L'Jarius Sneed. Everything's going against them, but hey,
doesn't matter. They're a better football team today.
There's your 3 guys.
Yeah, I mean, they're a better football team today, and I kind of go back to Vic Carucci, who's host of show on NFL Sirius radio, and he was talking about the Chiefs, and he said, "Listen, I'm tired of the Chiefs winning. But on the flip side, I like history. And I would love to see the Chiefs win 3 in a row." And I think that's the consensus amongst most people. Now, I don't think anybody's going to be on the 4th bandwagon if they go for 4 in a row. I think they're all going to be against them, say, okay, we're done with this Chiefs dynasty. At some point, it's got to end. But I think deep down, if you ask a pure football fan who is passionate about the history of the game and things that have never been done, there's 2 things left: winning 3 Super Bowls in a row and going undefeated through the Super Bowl and upstaging the Miami Dolphins. 14-0 or 17-0 run?
Yeah, 14. They've played 14 back then. So with the playoff 17.
3 playoff games in the Super Bowl, 17-0. So I think the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs have a better chance to three-peat than they do going undefeated in the season. But if anybody's ever going to do that, I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes or Andy Reid, because Patrick's just now entering the prime of his career and coming off the worst year of his career statistically. But he's got another title belt, and as I said earlier, he's the best dad bod quarterback in the NFL, and no one's going to take that away from him. And as long as he's there, you know, they're going to be, they should be favored to win every Super Bowl as long as Patrick Mahomes is behind center. Doesn't mean they're going to win them all, but this kid is special. And I hope Chiefs fans realize what you have.
I think they do.
I think they finally do. I wasn't so sure last year when we were going through the process.
Don't.
What's that?
I said Dre still don't. He's still already not talking about some goddamn Bengals.
Yeah, well, Bengals are toast.
We'll bring the Bengals.
We'll talk about the Bengals here in a little bit, but
let's go ahead. Cause I know. We're gonna go ahead and get into the next we did the sponsor because I know Lou can go ahead and go.
I do have a couple things on the wide receiver thing though. So if I'll hang around for a bit after that. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, go ahead. Let's talk about that first.
Okay. So the wide receivers, we talked about Chase and Higgins skipping OTAs, which again, it's one, it's voluntary. Two, they're both looking for new deals. Yesterday, Drew Rosenhaus got another one of his guys signed, which is Nico Collins, and he signed a 3-year deal, reportedly worth about $73 million. It's an extension. He's got 1 year left on his deal. Bottom line is, we don't know what the full numbers are, but it certainly looks like there's a group of receivers starting to build a market below the top guys.
Yeah.
So you had Devontae Smith sign, and it was around $25 million a year. Again, this is APY based on what's been reported. We don't know the exact numbers, but that's kind of the way it's looking. And now Nico Collins, who has a breakout year when he got a good quarterback and put up 1,200 yards in 15 games, 8 touchdowns. I mean, career numbers. Yeah. We had talked earlier, I think last show or a couple shows ago, whenever it was, about potentially bringing back Hollywood Brown. Well, I think the market's starting to push itself. So if Hollywood Brown has that season we think he's going to have, his floor is probably going to be 24 APY.
Yeah, I agree.
Do the Chiefs go there? Who knows? But in terms of the Bengals receivers, yeah, I guess on the surface, it looks like a big deal. Probably is, but I think eventually they get this done. With both guys. Higgins, it's either play on the franchise tag or he doesn't play. Chase, again, he and Jefferson, that's the tug of war right now. And I'm sure even personally, it's a big competition, but I think between the teams, they don't, it's like nobody wants to be first because the next guy then, is going to get, or they don't want to be second because the next guy, is going to be looking for more.
Oh, Bengals. You know what's wrong.
Yes,
no. Yeah. We suck again.
They're going to suck again.
All right, Lou, we're gonna let you roll, Lou. I know you got stuff to do. We're going to reshape the show a little bit here. We'll continue the conversation. But first, I want to get back to my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes. With the Eric Haynes Group, he is your trusted real estate advisor. He's also my trusted real estate advisors. And honestly, one of my best friends. I've known Eric for 2 decades. We have a long history together. He is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. He's so courteous and kind, and he will do anything to help anybody. And when I approached him about trying to find a house in this market where I'm at, I said, hey, what do we need to do? This is what I'm looking for. We took months and months and months, and we finally found the right house. And once we did, he and his team put together a wonderful plan, negotiated on our behalf, and we have the dream house that my wife and I have always wanted since we moved from the right coast. So with that said, listen, in all seriousness, if you're looking for a trusted real estate advisor and someone's going to always answer the phone, answer texts, and be there for you 110%, give Eric Haynes a call at 816-729-3785. You can reach him at esellskc@gmail.com. And for everybody who signs a deal with Eric and either sells or closes a house, I will personally donate one of my items signed by Mr. Lenny Dawson, my lifelong childhood hero. So we want to appreciate Eric for his sponsorship and his friendship. And trust me, you're in good hands with Eric Haynes. Give him a call at 816-729-3785.
Proud sponsor of Chiefs Hoop.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So it's going to be Hense and I the rest of the way. And, getting back to the Bengals situation, the market is set for the secondary guys. But, some of these other guys got some pretty sick contracts. And there's no way that the Brown family that owns the Bengals is going to pay Chase and Higgins $30+ million. And that's what these guys want. They know they're two of the top 10 receivers in the National Football League. They want to get paid. The Bengals have not had any negotiations with T. Higgins for over 12 months. It just doesn't suddenly happen. You just don't put a magic contract together overnight. Even if other superstar wide receivers get paid, it's a willingness. And remember, teams have to put all that signing bonus in escrow, meaning they have to have that money in the bank before they can issue those contracts. So it's just sitting there unused. And there's some parameters and some provisions that kind of ease it a little bit for owners. But Hense, I've said this before. Joe Burrow has never competed at a high level in the National Football League without Chase, Boyd, and Higgins. And now he's without Boyd. And I said this on the show last week, and people still don't get it. If one of these guys isn't there this year or decides to sit out, and it's quite possible both could sit out, Bengals are toast. They don't have any replacements here. They had a pretty decent offseason. They kind of rebuilt their offensive line. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's going to feel sorry for him. I personally think they decided to pay Burrow. You know, they've got Hendrickson, their defensive end, who wants to get paid too, and he's talking about retiring. So, you know, it's a bad situation. This team was poorly put together in regards to the financial structure that needed to be done to keep these guys. I will be shocked if they keep one. I might see it, but I don't know if that Brown family is going to spend, you know, an annual contract on Chase for 30 to 32 million, and then think they can get Higgins for 24 or 25. And I just don't think they're going to fork up that kind of money. They didn't even give Burrow the kind of money that I thought he would get. So that tells me a lot.
It tells me a lot. The Bengals are still going to be the cornflake team. I want to see what they do with it. If it does happen, if Joe Burrow comes out and say he's one of the great quarterbacks, like Dre say he is, like Coach Dre, you say he's one of the great quarterbacks. I just don't see it. Like these two guys, you know, Higgins, he deserved the money. Mm-hmm. Chase, yeah, he deserves the money, but which one are you going to pay? Right. Can you pay both? The way the NFL going, maybe they can. But again, when it's all said and done, is this team going to be the one that's going to cause you get in the way of the Chiefs three-peating, know, this year, or the Buffalo Bills? The Buffalo Bills are rebuilding themselves. They starting over. They got Josh Allen, so we're going, like you said, we're going to see what these quarterbacks is, because we see what Patrick Mahomes was when he out Tyreek Hill, right? Without one of his top targets, he became the NFL champion. You know, he still did it. And it was MVP that year also, you know. So we're gonna see what Chase and Higgins and, you know, it was not there with Joe Burrow, what Joe Burrow can be, right? Josh Allen, if he don't have he don't have Diggs no more, right? Or Gabe Davis, you know. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what Josh Allen's gonna be.
Yeah, it's a matter of changing the offensive philosophy. They're gonna have to be more of a run team. They're going to have to throw the ball more to the tight ends. They're going to have to count on crossing routes. You know, they have a lot of things to be concerned about. And I know their head coach talked about it yesterday, and he basically said, "Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it." Well, you better be, because even though you got a new contract, doesn't mean that your star players are going to get one. And they've got 3 headache issues right now of players that want to get paid big money. And they're not going to stay loyal to the Bengals. It's just not going to happen, because the organization has never really shown that kind of loyalty. And they had this window to get to the Super Bowl and win a Super Bowl. They had their chance. They upset Kansas City at home, and they had the Rams. You know, if not for, you know, Aaron Donald making a play, the Bengals probably win that football game, because Chase was wide open down the field on that last pass. So, you know, we got a new person on here. Wanted to Tilly Train, welcome. If they can only keep one, which one do they keep? I think Higgins is the guy to keep, because I think ultimately he'll be less money. So we'll see.
Tilly Train, he been on here.
Has he? Okay.
He been around. But again, we're gonna see it. Everybody keeps saying they quarterback is this. Joe Burrow's this. Joe Burrow's that. Like you said, we haven't seen Joe Burrow. Well, now we did see Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase, and that's when he was at Iowa, and he wasn't a great quarterback. You know what I mean? At Iowa, he was completely trash at Iowa. So then he came over there to LSU.
Yeah.
Then he got Chase, and he started playing a little better. Now
Chase and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and guys that were productive in that offense.
Justin Jefferson. He had him too. So we're gonna see what he could do without these weapons around him. We're gonna see what these guys can do without these magical weapons around him, because we all know what one guy did, and then here in Kansas City, number 15, when he didn't have all his weapons around him, he still beat the Bengals when he was in the playoffs with third string wide receivers. MVS became great.
Right.
That one game. MVS, we started to see the greatness of MVS that one game, but in the end,
yep,
it doesn't matter. We got to see what they can do. But I don't feel like it's. I feel like they're gonna pay both of them. I feel like it's gonna have to be some money though. But because if you look at if you look at it, the Chiefs, it's just like they Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, but Travis Kelce was looking for less money, like tight end money. He wasn't looking to get paid like a receiver. So
yeah, and he got paid like a receiver, and in the mid range of pay right now. But again, it boils down to the desire for management and ownership to be able to take care of that. And I'm on the opposite side of the fence on this one, Hense. I just don't see it. I think we're gonna know everything we need to know in week 2 when the Bengals come to Kansas City about Cincinnati and their off season and what they did or what they didn't do. But I don't see a scenario where Henderson, where Chase, and T. Higgins are going to be there week 2. I just don't see one.
I hope they not there. So with that said, man, hey, we go ahead and get into the sponsors. I think that's all we had for today, because the show is going to be a little short today. So let's go ahead and get right back to our sponsor.
Let's again talk about my good friend, Mr. Eric Haynes with the Eric Haynes Group. You can reach Eric at 816-729-3785. If you need a trusted real estate advisor, he is your guy. I trust him. He did a great job for my family. You can reach him at esaleskc@gmail.com. Hey, before we go, I want to bring in John. John, a package is going to be mailed today, so I just want to let you know. You both want big contracts. Bengals won't and can't pay both. Look at the wide receivers, what they're getting. A.J. Brown's getting $32 million. Trent Williams cap hits 24th to 26th are 31.5, 34, 30, or 31.5, 34, and 37.8. And he's an O-lineman. Williams will surely get released after this year and to save some cap space. So again, the Bengals have to sacrifice quite a bit to be able to bring these guys back.
They do.
They do.
There's a lot of sacrifices going to happen. And the Bengals just ain't going to be great. I'm not a big cornflake team fan.
I don't know where you get the corn. I don't know where the cornflake thing comes from, but you might have to explain that to me. I might be too old for that reference.
The cornflake man, the Tony the Tiger.
I gotcha. Okay, sorry. Yeah. For those in Spanish, the Zacaritos, frosted flakes.
I got blocked by Eli Apple. Was it the year that the Chiefs beat the year that the Bengals beat the Chiefs and went on to the Super Bowl? Me and him was going back and forth on Twitter, and then he got mad because I called the team, cornflake, zebra cake team. We was going back and forth for a whole probably 30 minutes, and he blocked me. So
yeah, well, we didn't. We took offense to Burrowhead, so fair game. Listen, they can talk. I think they learned their lesson from talking trash going into Kansas City. I don't think they're going to do that again. I think they'll be confident. If Chase is still out, we're not going to have to hear his comments before, week 2 of the NFL season. But they got a lot of issues to deal with. So I think for Chiefs fans, you got Patrick Mahomes. He's the greatest player in the National Football League today. And his drive is second to none. I've I've never seen a player with this much drive in my entire life.
They're Frosted Flakes. Yeah, Tony the Tiger.
I know. Sorry.
That's the nice team. That's the name I gave the Bengals. So with that said, go ahead and get a shout out to everybody in the chat.
All right, we're gonna do this. Sorry about the condensed show today. Ken St. Clair, Ruben DeCruz, Kareem, John Harrison, Gary Holland, Mara Lee sporting a new logo there. Tilly Train, welcome back. Let's see who else we got. Ruben, did I mention Ruben? Pamela Todd obviously was in. Ken St. Clair and Freelancer as well. So we appreciate you guys. We'll be back on Friday. We'll have Chief Sue. We should have the whole crew with us. Tilly's on a roll, man. I love it. Cincinnati Tigers. I love it. And then, of course, with the Ken St. Clair, the Jambronis. I love it. So much love to everybody. Again, we appreciate you. We'll be back on Friday. We'll have Chief Sue. We'll have a great show. We appreciate everybody. And again, check us out at chiefsblitz.com. Please tell all your friends. Just like us on social media. And please subscribe. It's free to the Chiefs Blitz channel. We've got a lot of great things lined up for as we get closer to training camp and some of the things we're going to do during the regular season. So now's the time to climb on board and become part of the team. Everybody, peace out.
So with that said, Kareem, I'm coming for your belt, sir. I'm coming for your belt on Chiefs Who. So with that said, guys, we're out.
Hey.